Now, the third video that we have for our community group leaders training is about shared rhythms. Now, every community has shared rhythms. As you think through your school community, and this could be your college, high school, or the school your kids go to, that there is an academic calendar. You are on summer break and you go into the academic year, you study hard, but there are also going to be vacations or holidays, school breaks, field trips along the way. But there's a shared rhythm to your academic calendar. Now, as we think about the church family, specifically your community group, there should be shared rhythms to your community group. And going back to those three ideas of the up, in, and out, of loving God, loving each other, loving your neighbor, what are the shared rhythms? How are you going to manifest these loves together? Are you going to love God by studying Scripture? Are you going to love God by worshiping together on Sundays? And so as you answer these questions, which should be yes, as you write out, yes, we're going to study the Bible. What part of the Bible? What are you going to be using? How often? And then the similar question of loving each other, how are you going to go about demonstrating your love for one another? Are you going to have a meal together? Are you going to be celebrating pregnancies, births, birthdays, anniversaries, graduating from college, buying a new house, promotions? How are you going to be tangibly demonstrating your love for one another? And that should extend outside of just one community group meeting a week. Just like, what's that look like? And further, like as you think about loving your neighbor, how can you tangibly demonstrate your love for your neighbor? Are you going to seek out a service opportunity to minister to others together? Or are you going to seek out other opportunities to like do a fall cleanup, to just really, truly go knocking on your neighbor's door and say, hey, do you have any house projects I could help you with this fall? It'll be a joy to do that. Or it could be also in the winter when if we have a heavy snowstorm, could you go and shovel your neighbor's sidewalk or your neighbor's driveway? What are the tangible ways that you can commit together and hold each other accountable to loving your neighbors together? So these are some examples of the shared rhythms. But as you begin to think about what this looks like, this does not have to be all within 1 week, every other week, or even a month. What does it look like over a period of 2 months, 3, 6? What's it look like over a period of a year? So 1 week you could be meeting together for a meal and Bible study. Another week you can be meeting together for a meal and prayer. Another week you could go even more deeply and more intimately with one another by having a DNA group, which is something that we've done in the past and we are going to be talking about again. Or could you be going out and bowling with each other? Could you have a party together? Could you serve your neighbors together? Just begin to map that out on a calendar. And what does that practically, tangibly look like? And then as you take a step back from this as a whole group, as you look at it as leaders, then how do you communicate that effectively? And this tool of defining these shared rhythms, of then putting pen on paper and mapping out the next month or the year for your community group, really the next quarter, not the full year. As you map out the next quarter, that is a very helpful way where we are able to serve one another by actually being hospitable and say, hey, these are the things that we are doing as a church. And would you love to join us in? Because that's what these shared rhythms are about. This is something that we do together.